Okay, so now something we can do is test this whole new pipeline all the way to prod. And so for this, I'm going to go to my code commit, go to my code, and this time I'll click on index.html, and I'm going to turn this blue color into a red. So for this, I need to click on edit, and here I can directly edit the file right within my web browser. So I'll make it red, and this looks great. I'll scroll down, I am Stefan, and I'll just have stefan@example.com as my email, and I say change the index.html from blue to red. That makes a lot of sense. I'll commit my changes, and now we have changed the index.html file onto the master branch. So if you followed correctly, what should happen is that now automatically my source has just turned blue and the code commit stage is in progress. So my code is actually going to be pulled directly by my code pipeline, like instantaneously. So what I should do is just wait a little bit for it to go all the way to the staging. So now my staging has completed. So if I go back to my Elastic Beanstalk, I can see that my web page is now red. So everything worked great. The application really got deployed all the way from the code change right here, all the way to my Elastic Beanstalk, which is quite awesome. Now what we can see though is that now there is a manual approval that is waiting, and I have to review it. And basically when I do my manual approval, it will go ahead and deploy to prod. So let's have a look at prod very quickly just to make sure things are all right. So we click on prod and open a new tab, and this is prod is blue. So our dev environment is red and prod is blue. And so once I approve my pipeline, basically I should be able to see that the application will get deployed to prod and will also become red. So I click on review and say changes look great. I've reviewed the changes and they look amazing. So I'll approve it. And now the stage just got approved. And so in a second, what we should be seeing is that it will go on to the next stage called deploy to prod. And this will basically allow my application to be deployed to my prod Elastic Beanstalk. And so what we see out of it is that it's really powerful pipelines that we can define with lots of manual approvals or lots of staging and stuff like this. And we can basically automate our entire continuous delivery from dev to test to prod to whatever you want. You're really free to do anything. So yeah, so let's just wait for the change to happen. So it took about 10 minutes, but now the application has been deployed to prod. And so if I go to my Elastic Beanstalk and prod and refresh, we can see that now it's running this version, so code pipeline. And so hopefully if I go and look at my app right here, that's the prod environment, and refresh the page, yep, it just turned red. So that means that my application is now deployed both in my development environment and prod environment, all through my code pipeline. And I had used a manual approval, which is really, really cool. The last feature is that you can view the pipeline history. So basically over time, you can see how long the pipelines took. So the first one took 3 minutes and the second one took 14 minutes. Because here we have a deployment to prod and I had to manually approve it. And overall, you can click on AWS Code Pipeline and view all your pipelines that you have in your AWS environment. So it's quite handy. So that's it for Code Pipeline. We'll go and add Code Build in the next lectures, but for the basics, that's all we have. And to be honest, we've done some pretty nice integration between Code Commit and Elastic Beanstalk with some manual approval and 2 environments. So we've reached a good level of complexity, but it was quite simple overall to orchestrate and arrange everything. So I hope you liked it, and I will see you in the next lecture.